Have you ever heard of stories so bizarre and frightening that they seem straight out of a horror movie, but actually happened in real life? Well, today you're going to learn about one of the most disturbing and mysterious cases in modern history, a real event that left investigators without answers, terrified entire families, and to this day is studied by scientists, the military, and curious people all over the world. Get ready, because what I'm about to tell you is not just a legend. It's a real case of terror and, mystery that has remained unexplained for over 60 years. This is the story of the Dyatlov Pass incident. In the winter of 1959, a group of 9 experienced hikers, all young Russian university students, decided to venture into the Ural Mountains in an extremely cold and isolated region of the Soviet Union. They were strong, prepared, and had already been on similar expeditions, but no one could have imagined that this would be the last time they were seen alive. Days after their disappearance, search teams were sent to the mountain, and that's when the real nightmare began. The group's tent was found torn from the inside, as if the hikers themselves had fled in desperation. Then the bodies started to be discovered, and the details shocked even Soviet investigators. Some were almost naked in the snow, as if they had run out in panic. Others had internal injuries so severe they were compared to those of a car crash, but without external marks of violence. 2 of them showed bizarre signs, missing eyes and a missing tongue. And to make things even stranger, some of the bodies had elevated levels of radiation on their clothing. Nothing made sense. But let's go back a little. Who were these people? The young men and women were engineering students, passionate about mountaineering. They were considered experienced, ready for any challenge. The leader of the expedition was Igor Dyatlov, who would later give his name to the case. They planned to cross kilometers of snow and ice, reaching points of extreme difficulty. But there was one detail that few people remember. The region where they were traveling was considered mysterious even by the local native Mansi people. They called that mountain Kholat Shachel, which means mountain of the dead. Coincidence? Or an omen? And there's more. Just days before the disappearance, locals reported seeing strange lights in the sky. What could that have been? Military experiments? Atmospheric phenomena? Or something far beyond our understanding? When the bodies were finally found, investigators realized something was deeply wrong. The first victims were in conditions typical of hypothermia, light clothing, signs of extreme cold. But the others, how those showed details so disturbing that they still divide experts to this day. Broken bones with no external trauma, darkened skin, missing organs like eyes and tongue, and of course the unexplained radiation. The group's cameras and diaries were recovered. The last photos show moments of relaxation, laughter, nothing indicating panic, then suddenly silence. The mystery begins right here. What made a group of well-prepared young people run out of their tent? In the middle of a snowstorm, practically unclothed toward certain death? And here is where the theories begin. First hypothesis, avalanche. Could it be that an avalanche forced the hikers to flee in desperation? The problem is that the investigation showed the terrain didn't have the right slope for that. And besides, the tent was still partially standing, which wouldn't make sense if tons of snow had collapsed on it. Second hypothesis, secret military test. There are reports that the region was used by the Soviet Union for weapons experiments. The radiation on the bodies fuels this theory. Were the hikers victims of a military accident? Was the government covering something up? After all, the official report at the time closed with a deeply disturbing phrase. The cause of death was attributed to an unknown irresistible force. Third hypothesis, supernatural or extraterrestrial phenomena. Remember the lights in the sky? Some believe they could have been UFOs. Others say the mountain's protective spirits punished the hikers. It may sound exaggerated, but to this day, no one has been able to prove otherwise. Decades passed and still the mystery remained unsolved. In 2019, the Russian government reopened the case. Their conclusion? That the deaths had been caused by some kind of snow displacement. But the explanation didn't convince anyone. How do you justify the radiation? How do you explain the internal injuries without external trauma? And why were some bodies missing eyes and a tongue? To this day, scholars, scientists, and adventurers travel to the site in search of answers. But the feeling remains that the mountain guards its secrets, and that the truth may never be revealed. Now imagine 9 young people, healthy, prepared, confident, all of them dead under inexplicable circumstances. The Dyatlov case is not just a tragedy. It's a dark reminder that there are forces we humans may never fully understand. Were they victims of human error? A military conspiracy? Something extraterrestrial? Or did they simply mess with forces they should never have disturbed? So what's your theory? This was the Dyatlov Pass incident, one of the greatest mysteries of modern history. If you got chills from this story and want to hear more real cases of terror and mystery, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. And hey, don't leave just yet, because another video is showing up right now on your screen with a story that will leave you just as intrigued. Go check it out and continue this journey of mysteries with me. Until the next video, if you dare.